Hi everyone, welcome back to another scrapbook layout video and thank you for joining me again today. So this is sketch number 13 by Allison Davis in her sketch class. A lot of you already know these sketches. If you are interested, I believe what she is going to do is basically redo this class. So there is a Facebook group attached to this class, and a lot of people are asking, because they didn't get in on time, so they still want to do the class. So I believe she's going to basically redo the Facebook group and let more people in for like a second go around. It's going to all be the same thing. Like, I don't think she's going to redo any layouts or anything like that. She's just going to repost the layouts she did do. So if you are interested and you missed being in on the Facebook group the first time around, I will let you know if I hear more. There's still, we're only on week 13 and there's 20 weeks. So, and then I believe she is also going to do it again with different sketches. So I will let you know again too about that if I hear about that. So this sketch has a bunch of, I believe, 2-inch strips with 2x6-inch strips. Sorry, I should have said that. So I'm just cutting down. I am using this collection again by Doodlebug, The Land That I Love. I got really inspired. I was looking for a bunch of photos and I just happened to come across a bunch of 4th of July photos from older years. This is like 2010. I'm going to be scrapbooking in this video. And I thought, instead of getting out a new collection each week, which some of the weeks will be different collections, but I'm kind of just pulled out photos and I'm going to do as many as I can. I kind of just want to use this kit up as much as I can. I've just been really enjoying playing with it. And it's been inspiring me, which I'm kind of, at the moment now, this is like a week and a half later after doing this layout. I'm a little kind of in a slump, but that's okay. I'm getting back into it. So I am using mostly the 6x6. I knew I liked these layouts, and I believe there's another one that I like for this with this collection because I have a bunch of the 6x6 scraps. I still have a couple of full-size papers, which I do need to still use, but I'm not worried about it because I know I will use them. So the only thing I've noticed with the Doodlebug paper, the 6x6 pads, is I think they're just a tiny bit bigger than 6 inches. And when you pull it off, you know how it's got that like rubbery piece that keeps the paper pads together. Theirs doesn't peel off as nicely as some other companies. Like, some companies, you open the book and they start to fall out, like Queen and Companies, which is really nice. But anyway, so there is a little piece you have to trim off from there, but no big deal. I'm going along here. I think I stick to the photo sizes just like she has. So 2 4x6s. I think my 4x6s, again, because these are older Shutterfly photos, they're not the true 4x6. So I think, do I trim the papers down? I can't remember. I do have to kind of alter a little bit. So I'm going to start gluing down and then I'm going to realize that the pictures are just slightly shorter or something like that. So I do think that I go back and cut all of, I'm sorry if my voice sounds like I'm kind of disappearing, quieter or whatever, it's because I'm looking over at the layout. I think what I'm going to do here is what she has. Okay, this is what I did. She has this striped strip going over one of the 2-inch strips. And so I'm going to glue mine down. And luckily I'm able to pull it up. So I'm confused with everything. Did I say that I'm looking over at my layout if I sound like I'm being quieter? Oh, I'm so out of practice. Let me tell you, is anybody else's brain working well right now during this COVID time? Because mine sure is not. And let me tell you, I think I've been home. Today is actually the 20th, and today's the day that, the videos for the YouTube Hop goes live, and I didn't even know it was the 20th. I didn't even know we were close to the 20th. So, anyways, let me know below if you two are having brain problems trying to focus and get the days straight. Taking the Benadryl doesn't help either. I think I mentioned that in another video, but luckily today I haven't even had to take it, so I don't have an excuse for that. But you can see what I did because the pictures are just a tiny bit shorter. Again, Shutterfly used to not be 6x6, 4x6, but I do believe that they are now, because the last time I ordered, I checked and they were the full 6 inches. So if you used to hate Shutterfly because they were not the true 4x6, just an FYI, I believe they are now. But these, of course, I have a lot already printed from, you know, past years. So I'm just going to have to deal with them not being the full 4x6. Not that big of a deal to me. So what I had to do to fill in the space was I took, instead of having that striped strip kind of overlap the strip, the 2x6 strip, I have it just next to the photos. I don't think it really makes a big difference in the end. I'm looking at my layout now. I wouldn't have even noticed. So not that big of a deal. I'm glad I caught this and didn't do the other side, because I do go and you can see that all the strips are slightly smaller. So I take one, I kind of measure it, and then I take the other ones and hold them up there. And I think I even get a couple off. It's not too big of a deal for me. But I go ahead and glue everything down. But I do end up cutting, is what I'm saying. I do end up cutting all of the strips across the entire 2 pages down just a hair to match the photos. And I am inking all of my edges with my black Close to My Heart ink. And so here I'm going to do the strips that are on the right-hand side. So what I'm doing is I'm basically lining up this one strip that I've already pre-cut down, and then I'm going to measure with this other one, and then I'm just going to kind of cut them all. And in fact, I give up on even measuring. I kind of eyeballed it on my cutter where I had to cut it down to, and the rest of them I just went for it, and it actually worked out. I was kind of surprised. But after cutting them down, I kind of knew where on the cutter, even though it wasn't really on one of the even an 1/8 marks. It was so. Anyways, having a lot of trouble, if you can tell, getting them glued down, making sure I get them. I had them all lined up, but when I went to cut them all down, they got all mixed up, so I don't even remember how I had them before. One thing I will have you notice is that red stripe. It's the only real red stripe on along the strips. And I wanted to have some red in there. Didn't really have any red pattern papers left. Oh, and look, see, even doing 2 inches, I still have to trim 1/8 of an inch off the edge of the page. I don't know. I don't understand that. I think, like, I've had a subscriber say that papers just are not all 12 by 12, and you know, you're right. So yeah, but it doesn't bother me to trim it down. Okay, before I talk about the red, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing here real quick. I have this stencil. It's by Echo Park. I will link to 4th of July or firework stencils that I can find below. I don't know if you can find this one. If you want this particular one, try checking Etsy. What I'm using is what's called Tacky When Dry Gel Medium, and it's by the Crafter's Workshop. Again, I will have links below to it. And I'm going to put it in 2 spots on both the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the page. So I'm just using my little scraper there. Any scraper would work. If you don't have a scraper, use a credit card, use an old gift card. Used ones. Obviously, you don't want to use your good credit card. That would be interesting. But I did it in 2 different spots, and I'm going to come back in a minute and show you what I'm going to add to it. And I'm in love. I'm going to be using this technique so much more. Wait till you see it. I tried to take the still photos at the end. I tried to pick up on all the colors, but just wait. So here's going back to the red. Because I knew I didn't have a lot of the red pattern paper strips, I decided I would mount all the 2x2 photos with red. So that way the red strip is in the middle. I have one of the photos with a red border up on the top right, and one of the 2 of the other photos down on the bottom very left, which you will see as I go along how that works out. So the red spans the page. Plus I'm going to add in a couple other things to make that red. That red stripe does kind of stand out in the end. I'm looking at my layout now, but it's not too bad. But like I said, I'm kind of getting down to the minimums with these scraps, and I'm trying to use up the scraps. I believe that might even be, yeah, the red that I used there is a Petite print anyway, so it wasn't even a 6x6 piece. So you can see right there, but there, like I said, there's other reds. So knowing this is one thing I wish I would have done before putting the gel medium down on. I'm currently waiting for that gel medium to dry. It didn't take very long at all. You could probably wait a little longer than I did. 30 minutes maybe. I waited maybe 20. So while I was waiting, I decided to add some of my peel-offs, and this color is going to match the fireworks you will see here. I wish I would have done the peel-offs first, because over here, they're going to go over the fireworks where I've put the gel medium, which you can barely see. I don't even know if you can see it in the video or not, because right now, currently, it's clear. But when the layout is completely done, it's mostly covered up. There is one spot right here where I'm working where you can see that this goes over the fireworks, but it's really not that noticeable. And you can see here because it's still drying, so it's not 100% dry. I kind of took my little tool and just poked it down onto the page so it would still go down. Now here is the fun part. This is like a few minutes later. I let it dry just a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell when this stuff's dry because it's tacky when dry, but look at that. So this is Gina K foil, and I will leave a link below to this too. But oh my gosh, look how fun. Wait till you see. I think I might hold it up to the camera. These fireworks turn out amazing. I'm so in love with the way this turned out. It's just a new something to add to the layout. And the cool thing is I'm taking a little brush here that I have by Tim Holtz. I can leave a link below to that if you are interested. Any parts, what's cool about this, okay, so you can see there, look at all the different colors and shiny. If you miss a spot when you pull up the foil, I'm even taking the brush now and going over it before I peel it up. But if you miss a spot, you can take that foil and put it back down over the sticky area and it'll still pick it up. So it's like foolproof. I mean, as long as you get, now I will say this, the one thing that didn't go very well for me was this 12 by 12 white background that I'm using is Recollections brand from Michaels. Like I bought a couple of their 12 by 12 packs when it was on a really good sale. Now, I will never use that again with this gel medium. So if you have a nicer white cardstock, I imagine anything nicer will work. But if you have a nicer, it works. Obviously, you can see that it worked, but there were a couple spots where it kind of wanted to stick to the paper and not the foil. I'm talking about the gel medium. So like I said, basically just if you can use a nicer quality. I didn't put gesso down. I didn't put anything. I've never used gesso, and I've used modeling paste. I think as long as you're using kind of a nicer quality white cardstock again, then it works just fine. And even here, using the cheaper Michaels, it worked. But if you were to look super close, actually most of it gets covered up anyway. There are a couple spots, and it's just basically, I think they all get covered up by these photos anyway. There are a couple spots where the lines of the fireworks didn't just, the gel wanted to pill up the paper is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I didn't use any gesso, and use a nicer quality cardstock. If you don't have one, just go slow and work at it slowly and practice maybe even. But look how cool those fireworks look. I am so excited. I have all these alphabets by Doodlebug as well, which I think is great. If you don't know, Doodlebug uses the same colors for every collection they've ever done. So any alphabet or enamel dot shapes, anything like that that you use will match any of their collections now and in the past. So in case you didn't know that, you guys know me, I'm not buying any alphabets, but I am going to cave when it comes to the Doodlebugs. I talked to the hubby, and we are, you know, since we're not going anywhere, not doing anything, not paying for crops, he says, you know, the cat's doing better, so I don't have to be on as much of a spending freeze. I am going to be smarter, and I'm not going to buy as much, but I am going to cave and get the new Doodlebug alphabets as well. So I have to talk to Michelle about getting them from her, but I will talk more about those later. So I'm using these stickers just to write 4th of July, and pretty generic title. I don't know. I am going to do, oh look, I am going to get a banner on there as well. It's not glued down all the way, but I am going to play around with it and I am going to leave it there. And I actually kind of like it. So the other thing that's cool about these fireworks is they're just kind of in the background. If you wanted to do them last and have them be on top of everything, you could totally do that. But I did mine first, knowing that I kind of just wanted them to come out from behind. Having a small firework is the only thing I wish that I had, was just one small firework to kind of add to the cluster, but you can get another stencil with a smaller firework and it would work just as well. So playing around with the stickers, I don't have a ton. Look at, I mean, I've used up half that sheet. This is the only collection, if you remember, that I bought the ephemera pack with, but I don't think I pull, okay, excuse me, sorry. I do add two ephemera pieces, and the rest are just from the sticker sheet. And even here, this hot air balloon that I didn't think I would use, I tucked it kind of underneath this photo here, and I actually thought that looked really cute. And then I was looking at the sticker sheet and realized there was a whole bunch of like ice cream pieces and things like that left, and so I decided to use those. So these are pictures of us. We used to get together every 4th of July, the huge family, everybody, and celebrate a bunch of birthdays. There would be like 10 different cakes because there's 10 different birthdays and things like that. So I'm not afraid to use those cupcakes and those ice cream cones on 4th of July pages, because I feel like that's what we were doing there, was celebrating birthdays and stuff. So why not, you know? And anyways, they look cute. So who cares? I don't think anybody's going to look at my page and say, why do you have an ice cream cone on there? You know, and if they do, I'll be like, well, you don't need to look at any of my other pages, right? So, in the middle of all the fireworks, except for the one on the very top right, which you can see has that heart with the stars and stripes. The other three, I put the enamel hearts, which is the only thing I haven't really used until now in this collection, is those red enamel hearts. Not worried about it though, because I know that I can use those with any collection, and they're hearts, they're generic. So definitely use them anytime. So before I end this page, I will say I struggle kind of towards this time, because to me, excuse me, apparently I can't do voiceovers anymore. To me, the page looks very empty in the middle. Like there's no, I mean, there's the big cluster on the top right and the big cluster on the top, or I mean, excuse me, the bottom left, which is kind of how she has her sketch. But I wasn't liking it. And you can kind of see here, I'm playing around with more things. I'm getting this little star punch. I got this at Tuesday morning one time. So I don't know. I was trying different things. I'm going to matte my collection now, or the whole layout, I mean. I'm going to find a red and white Petite print. I didn't have two of the one Petite prints that I really wanted to use. So you'll see in the very end photos that the collection is completely matted, or the page, sorry, getting ahead. This video is going too fast for me to keep up. So I am going to add I'm going to link to these brushes below because I love this. I'm just using a super light gray ink and a super light hand, and I'm going to add these stars all over the place. And then I'm going to take some of my Star Confetti by Nuvo, and I'm going to add it along with those, and it fills in the area. I go a little bit overboard maybe even, but I really see, you can see the stenciled stars there and some of the smaller stars. But there is a couple close-ups of that really cool foil look. No heat needed, and I hope you guys like this layout. If you have any questions below, let me know, and I will be using that stuff even more. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye!